That's
Okay.
Boards, board games, it's what we're talking about. Board games, I'm not gonna shout. I am starting off this streaming with a little bit of singing. And over here, it's not just one but two of the people known as the Hughes. There is someone who's a bit of a talker. Her name is Little Cora. And there's a person with a baldy head, and their name is Dan.
That didn't come on here.
Board games and family. It's what we're talking about. Board games and family. I'm not gonna shout. Dan and Cora have been designing a game, but the question, are they bonding? We're going to now discover this question as we ponder and chatter. Board games and bonding is what we're talking about. Designing and bonding. I'm not gonna shout. Hey.
All right. Well, that's all we've got time for, I'm afraid, Bez. So we'll have to go. I didn't come here to be insulted. I've got loads of hair. It just happens not to be on my head. It's all down my back. That's all.
Oh man.
Hello.
Hello, and it's lovely to see both of you. And hello to everyone in the chat. Hello, Xate, who says Huddersfield for the win.
Yes.
And let's move past that. It's not a value judgment. It's just the way that it is, Dan.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, yeah. I started going bald at the age of about 25, so I've had lots of time to come to terms with it. Yeah. It's part of my identity now, so that's fine.
And so, there's Shiokoloko. It's lovely to see you, and welcome to the chat. Thank you very much for joining us. Wow, we've got what's a pirate's favorite type of video game? VR.
First of all,
well, someone laughed.
Cora laughs at everything. There's no challenge making Cora laugh. You just need to
look. I am Bez. This is bedtime in New Zealand, and so this is the Bezzy Bedtime Board Game Bladder. And coming up today, we are going to chat about bonding via designing. Now, you've both done a whole bunch of things. You've done some videos. You've done some designing. You now, like in the past few months since lockdown, Dan, you've done a lot of podcasting. But yeah, like for those who don't know of your things, what do you like to be known for?
Well, in the board game sphere, I suppose I like to be known for Dan and Cora, which is the stuff we do for the Dice Tower, where we review board games, don't we? Family board games and stuff. We do that on Board Game Breakfast, and we also do it on a standalone thing. And then, oh, look at this! Hey, and then I do a podcast called Sporadically Bored. I used to host, and I created This Game Is Broken. That's about what we do in board gaming. Do we do anything? Oh, we run a board game children's club, don't we?
We used to do the time capsule.
I used to do the board game time capsule on the Board Game Blender. That's it. I do a lot of work with the Dice Tower. And we run a family board games club, although that hasn't been going for 9 months. For obvious reasons. We do that monthly. That's cool, isn't it? That's where kids all over Huddersfield and the surrounding area gets together and play board games. And I also founded the Noble Order of Huddersfield Board Gamers. So that's what but I'm not so much involved in that anymore for equal reasons. So yeah, that's what I do. And then I'm a nurse. That's what I'm most proud of. And Cora, she smells a bit. So that's what she likes to be known as someone who smells really badly. What? I thought that's what you liked.
No.
Why do you never take any back? Okay.
So Cora, what do you like to be known for?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
What are you
Do you
most proud
like to be known as someone who does take baths?
She does. She's had a bath this morning, to be fair. All ready for you, Bez. So
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I mean, otherwise, I would be able to smell you from all the way over
I'm
here.
surprised you can. You normally can smell her from a long way.
Stop.
Sorry, sweetheart. Right. Yes. So that's what we do.
So, yeah, someone talking about Meeple Overboard says, ahoy, cheers, Dan. And don't forget to give people defining nicknames.
I do, and I know who that one is. That's Chris the Hobbledehoy that's something I do on the podcast when we interact with people who listen. I give them middle names. So if anyone wants a middle name, just come to me.
A silly middle
name.
Now, we are
Hughes.
going to go slightly off script.
Oh.
You know, people know that we normally start with a brilliant thing and then we have the questionably quick questions. But today, you know, there were two obvious choices for a brilliant thing and we can't do both of them. We've just got to stick to one.
Okay.
So then the question becomes, which is better, Huddersfield or family?
Huddersfield or what?
Family. What do you think? Depends. Are you included in that family? Because I'm shifting towards Huddersfield in that. No, family is the most important. Although family is the reason we are in Huddersfield, really, because all our family are here. We had the opportunity to move to Australia a while ago, but we decided against it because we want to be near extended family. Yeah.
It feels like Huddersfield is a lovely place. I mean, I'm actually slightly sad that Jess is not here because I'm actually quite shocked. Yeah, Jess was so excited to hear about Huddersfield. I don't know, maybe they got held up at work because they're based in Thailand right now.
Right.
But yeah, so Jess, you know, is from Saddlesworth, which is a place in Huddersfield, if you are aware of it. Where, you know, I understand that some people claim it's in Huddersfield, some people say it's not, and it's kind of saddling.
Order, I'd say.
Yeah. But yeah, walking around there, like on the hills and like, you know, seeing the mines and stuff, it's lovely kind of countryside.
It is. Huddersfield's a fantastic area. I mean, there are socially deprived areas within Huddersfield, as there are any major. Well, I'm not even sure. It's a relatively major town in a kind of northern industrial heartland type things. But I mean, it's where Last of the Summer Wine was filmed. If anyone is aware of that, I do like that. I was watching that last night, wasn't I? And so there's some amazing countryside, and it's relatively unknown countryside. It's not, but we live right on the edge of a national park as well, don't we? We live right on the edge of the moors.
Oh, lovely. Do you often venture up there?
Yeah, we were there the other day.
What?
The moors, where where we went walking with the dog. We do
Never-ending hill.
On the never-ending hill. There's lots of hills around us, which is not
Why
quite.
do you call it the never-ending hill? Have you ever reached the top?
It just feels like it's going to stop, then it keeps going, and then it keeps going.
Oh, so it's one of those that it goes up and then it goes flat. So it's kind of like a false peak, and then it goes up again.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, so we weren't happy about that, were we? We've asked the council to put escalators in, and hopefully that will be fine. Yes, I'm getting outraged by some of these comments.
And hello, Mark. It's lovely to see you. So this is Mark Cook, best known for being very tall.
Yes, in fact, that's his only positive defining characteristic, as far as I can tell. Reaching high shelves and just being a general waste of space in any other kind of thing.
Yeah, like if you needed someone to get something off the top shelf.
Yeah.
I think that, Cora, I would not pick you.
No.
You're useless at that kind of stuff, aren't you?
Yeah. But what we have decided is that as majestic as Huddersfield is, family is even better, because obviously some families are dysfunctional. There are some families, and honestly, lots of love to those who are, you know, not having the best families, because not everyone has such a loving and supporting family. I mean, I know that this is a show where I do like to be positive. I do like to keep it, but I want to say, yeah, generally, not everyone is blessed in that way. So lots of love to those people as well.
Yes,
But
and people need to remember also within social media, only the best face ever gets put forward. So even when you're looking at another family, people always say, "What a wonderful dad I am," and things like that. But Cora could give you hundreds of reasons why I'm awful. So yes, so don't fall for the hype, is what I say. But yes.
Well, let's get into it. Let's talk about our brilliant thing. What's the little thing which is brilliant?
Keep singing, Cora. Look at that as well. Freeze frame like Naked Gun.
Okay. So what family? Why is family brilliant? And do you have any tips for those who maybe don't have the best family, or do you have any? Cora, do you want to talk about why Dan is a terrible dad?
Yeah, go for it. No, I don't think so. No. Yeah. Why is family brilliant? Well, I don't. I think it's hard. It's hard to say. It depends on how you're defining family as well. You're going to talking about a core nuclear family. You're talking about parent and children. I think family brings meaning to a lot of people's lives. I think family is a way of realizing the world doesn't center around you, that you need to take other people into account, especially even when families don't get on. It can be a learning experience to learn how to interact with people in an environment where there's tension. Do you know what I mean? So, and families don't even need to be blood relations. Obviously, a family can be. You can choose your own family as well. So a family is people who you stick with despite the friction. I think that's how I would define a family. That people that are so tightly bonded that even friction.
Because I mean, if you're married to someone, if you've decided to make lifelong commitment to someone, you would say that they're part of your family, even though there's no kind of blood relation. You know, I believe that you're married, Dan.
I am married, yes.
And there's no blood relation there. I hope.
No, and I know that because my other daughter is very much into genealogy, so she's made very clear that we're not related.
Hello, Jess. You missed all the Huddersfield talk.
Yeah, we can go back to Huddersfield. We can go back.
Jess,
that's a Huddersfield haircut if ever I've seen one as well. Do you not think? That's what kids look like in the 80s in Huddersfield. That hair. I presume it's 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever. I think you can define your own family, but I think one of the definitions of family is that it's something where you allow friction to exist yet still retain those bonds. So friendships, as soon as you fall out, you can go your separate ways. They're not family, but you can have friendships that rub up against each other and you keep it tight. I've given no prior thought to any of this.
No, I like that. So it's basically once you've made that commitment that you are basically going to stick with someone for the long haul, then you're basically family. So it might even be that you could say that some of the people in the chats, you could say that me and Jess, maybe you could argue that we're family of some sorts. Like if we've decided, okay, we've had some big rows and we've decided, okay, you know what? There's just too much love. We can't, be rid of each other.
Exactly. I mean, which isn't to say you can't separate from if you've got an abusive family or whatever, or a problematic family. It doesn't mean to say you can't cut those ties as well. And obviously, if that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do. But the ties are harder to cut, I suppose, than they would be a normal relationship. So there you go.
And
did you get all that?
Yeah.
Why do you think family is brilliant, Cora? What's your favorite thing about your family? You weren't willing to say bad things about your dad. Now, do you want to say good things about your mum or dad, or
brother or sister?
So you're very impartial regarding family.
I think you're struggling to marshal your thoughts, aren't you? Yeah.
Okay, that's totally fair. I just want to say that family is good because as you kind of, develop that length of relationship, then you're going to get deeper and deeper bonds, and you get to the point where you just know each other, and you're like, okay, I have this understanding for how you work and what makes you tick, and like, okay, Jess knows that I like things to be organized in a particular way, that I really don't like surprises. So please, if you're organizing a birthday surprise for me, rethink your actions. I mean, maybe surprises within tightly constrained things. Like if you said, okay, Bez, we're going to have a party and there's going to be a surprise guest, even that might be a bit, whoa, what's going on? Like if you've told, like, I don't know, like if there was just a surprise guest, like if I knew that there were people coming and it was like, oh, there's this person that you actually like and are coming to the party as well, it was great, it's lovely to see you. But like I would rather anticipate and have that positive anticipation. Anyway, and this is true. Jess likes surprises, and I know that. So I blindfolded Jess, literally. I blindfolded Jess, and I got Jess to walk along and then put Jess on a bus. It was almost like I was smuggling them, but, with a lot less physical struggling. I was just kind of guiding rather than pushing and shoving. And then we went to the water park. True story.
Oh, very good. That takes a lot of trust. If my friends did that, I'd end up being pushed into a lake if they blindfolded me and took me somewhere. So yeah.
So that is our brilliant thing. Now let's quickly talk about recent highlights, living life and seeing the sights. Recent highlights, playing games and other delights. Recent highlights. What have been some of your recent highlights?
What games were you playing? Speaking to that microphone, otherwise I won't hear you.
Yeah. We've been playing a lot of Hedgehog Wall and
Oh, it's the one by Sugarmick that won the Kinderspiel des Jahres.
Yeah. It's an amazing game. I saw it at Essen, not last year, even the year before. I can't remember when I saw it at Essen. Yeah, I think so. But they weren't selling it because I was desperate to pick up a copy. It's fantastic, isn't it? Do you want to say how it works?
So you've got a brown tennis ball with a little face on it, a hedgehog face, and you have to roll it to get the Velcro pieces onto it, and then whatever you get, you can move onto one of those things. Yeah,
so it's like a roller move, but instead of a dice, you're rolling a tennis ball and picking up bits of Velcro, which is great. We played,
but there's bits of Velcro that you don't want to pick up.
Yeah,
because if you pick up certain bits of Velcro, then the fox will run and it will catch up with you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's ace.
And then most of the time we're quite worried about rolling it off the table and our dog eats it.
Yeah, that's true, because the dog will get it. If dog quite likes tennis balls, so it adds a little bit of extra gameplay that the designers didn't intend. That one. And we played the game yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, we played Gizmo, and it's a really fun game where there's marbles, and then you pick one. You can use that element to buy a machine or to build it, or you can take an action to either pick one, get one, put it in your filing cabinet to build later, or build it straight from the
thing. So it's like an engine building game.
Yeah.
We're starting to play quite a few more slightly older games.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in playing kids games with kids, because I think, well, to be honest, you never get the opportunity to play kids games other times. So you might as well.
We played My Little Scythe, which is ages 8+. I don't know if you played that. It's actually fairly meaty for an.
Yeah, sorry, it's fairly what? Sorry.
I think it's fairly quite a bit going on for a game that says 8+ on it.
It does, yeah. We played it once. We played it with Anwin.
What game was it?
My Little Scythe. You're throwing pies at each other. You weren't that keen, but you were a tad young, I think. So yeah. Well, we're starting to move into. Go on, and you can answer that.
Yeah, I've played it quite a few times. It was quite fun.
Yeah, we've got a cheap knockoff copy somewhere as well. I don't know, hungry hedgehogs or something like that, haven't we? I can't remember what ours is, or rhinos or something. But yeah, I was never allowed hungry hippos when I was a kid.
Why?
I don't know. Probably thought.
Oh, is it because of all the marbles flying everywhere?
Yeah,
And, maybe it's going to make too much noise. Maybe that's the other thing.
I think it was more. Yeah, no, I think it was more. My parents were cheap, is what it was. Parents were cheap, and they said you get bored of it after a while, which is probably true.
I heard that the Premiership footballer has the world record for the fastest game of Hungry Hippos. I want to know more details. Like, which footballer? What's
Possibly.
going on?
I'll have to Google that one. I don't know.
But other recent highlights. Obviously Essen Spiel Digital has started. I don't know how I feel about that. I found it. I went onto the website. Yeah, that's not really a highlight for me. But what has been a highlight has been seeing Alan Paul and Charlie Paul on, their live streams. That was quite nice because, they're friends and I'd normally be with them and I'd see them every day. And so that was a nice thing. But have you engaged at all with Spiel?
No, no, not at all. We were talking about doing something with Haber, but we decided against it in the end because just can't be. I don't really see.
You're about to say just can't be bothered.
I was about to say just can't be bothered. I don't really see the point in online conventions. Really, it boils all the community out of it and just puts it into trying to pitch things to you and sell and take your money off you, and it's like, well,
I don't know. You still have some community. I mean, like, look, Sates was saying a while back that the reason that people are coming here to kind of chat is because of the community.
Yeah, but I don't think you need an online convention for that. I think I'm not saying online isn't a community. Online certainly is a community, but I'm just saying that I don't know. It feels to be much more selling me things than it does giving me anything community-wise. But that's just my perspective, and I'm a rampant anti-consumerist anyway. So I would say that, wouldn't I?
Okay, I'll ask you about the UK Games Expo Digital if you were at all part of it.
I logged on and had a look, and I watched a few live streams. I watched some. You did a seminar, didn't you? I think I saw your seminar.
I did. Like on the morning at 10 a.m. on Saturday.
Yeah, I think I've tuned in for some of that, and then and a few seminars, which was interesting. But I suppose Essen can't replicate that, really. Oh, hello, Ian.
Hello, Ian.
Essen can't replicate that because Essen doesn't do that anyway, does it? Really?
Yeah. Like Essen's such a different thing. It's few listeners. Anyway, so let's move on to other people. Some of the chats. Apparently, Axel Tuanzabe, Manchester United defender, completed the game in 17.36 seconds.
Solo play, eh?
Wow.
I could do that. Tip the board up and just roll all the marbles into their mouth.
So let's hear what other people have been highlights. Sate's highlights was teaching Krudgewas herbaceous in Dutchlish to Dutch Yoda and then forgetting to leave the virtual table and just chatting for a bit. That sounds fun. Yes. Jess's highlight is having an Indian curry with a meetup group this afternoon. I'm in the future in Thailand, but I used to live in the past in Huddersfield, says Jess. And now we can move on to our questionably quick questions.
He keeps doing that.
Okay, so
I'm just going to answer bones and banners. That's it. I don't give a monkeys about football, but my son
Evan and Granddad.
These lot all go to watch Huddersfield Town play. Cora's got a season ticket, not that she ever uses it, especially not now.
My brother and my granddad are in Huddersfield.
Yeah, Evan was a Huddersfield mascot once, wasn't he? And Amy, who's in the room next door, which is why I'm saying, she supports Huddersfield as well, doesn't she? Mm-hmm. But we don't care. We don't like football. We like board games because we're cool.
Board games in the family.
Oh,
well,
we
have
emoji as well.
State asks, "What's a Habba game about pirates?" Do you know this one?
Isn't there a new? No, I
I
probably
actually
will.
know this answer because I own this game.
All right, okay.
Do you know this one, Cora?
I have a game about pirates, one of those yellow box ones. I think we've had one in the past. Oh,
So-
is that a new one? That's not
Wilde Mutarai. Yeah, it's a Haba game, I promise you. It's just that this is it is from Haba. Let me.
All right, yeah, we believe you.
It's Reckless Mutiny in English.
I believed you before, but he needs
Reckless Mutiny. Sounds like a great kids game.
It's kind of a pirate. It is a pirate memory game.
Ah, right, okay.
I'll be better.
Yeah.
And I played it a couple of times with Chris and McCall, and they were like, "Yeah, I bet you're just going to win every time. Our memory isn't as good as you, so it's not fun."
Yeah.
And that's kind of sometimes the way it is with games.
Especially memory games, but they're very good with kids because kids generally have a significantly superior memory than adults. So it's than me.
Talking about football, Jess has watched Huddersfield because people gave them free tickets.
Because they can't sell them, that's why.
Cora, how long have you been playing board games for?
Since I was about maybe 2, 3.
3, I think.
We started. I remember when I was in reception, when I was about 4, we were doing videos.
Yeah.
So I think it was about 3, maybe.
About 3. I think before 3.
No, mate. So
Yeah. No, you're right. You're an old lady. Before 3, I think is very difficult. You can let kids play with
stuff.
bits and things like that, marbles and the knives and things like that, scalpels, anything like that. But bleach, let kids play with bleach as well. But you can let kids play with the bits. But before 3, you can't really. There's not really. That is disgusting, Ian O'Toole, and I am horrified that you are allowing your daughter to send poop emojis.
That's funny.
Call yourself
That's
up.
funny.
Cora's very good at drawing poop emojis.
I can draw poop emojis.
And Jess says, "Wow, 5-year board gaming anniversary for Cora."
Yeah. I don't know if it's to the day, but let's say it.
So,
Mark Cook, do you know Mark? How old is Lottie? Is the older one, right? Mark Cook's the older one. Are they like 3 or something?
Something like that.
But have you met Mark Cook and Lottie, Cora?
I know Mark Cook very well. Mark Cook is on part of the team putting Coraquest together. So Mark is well known to me, unfortunately.
But have you met Lottie?
No, I haven't met Lottie. I think I've seen her in the halls of Aircon.
Yeah, same. So like I met them briefly, I think back when they were maybe a couple of months or something. But yeah, there's a game about rabbits in a bath and one about a caterpillar trying to catch a butterfly. And yes, it is Lottie. Lottie is indeed 3 years old.
I'm so out of date with Habba games now because we don't really play many Habba games anymore, do we? We played them.
we used to play a lot of.
We used to play a lot of Habba games, but they have them. They usually for slightly younger kids. At least the yellow box Habba games. They've got some more family games as well. I used to play them quite a bit at a kids board game club because myself and a friend ran that, and while Cora was off playing all the good games, I was with the youngest kids.
Yeah, you were
playing.
You were going around the middle, teaching everyone how to play the games.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So we used to play a lot then, but I'm not up to date with the newest yellow box Habba games. Habba's fantastic, obviously.
And here for Cora, Jess is laying more emojis.
It's too rude. It's too rude, Cora.
And hello, Michael, who says good morning, Bez, Dan, and especially Cora. And of course. So yes, good morning, Cora. And unless anyone else has any more questions that appear in the next 1 minute, I'm going to move over to the main theme. Ooh. And at this point, I like to remind people to feel free to comment, ask questions, follow. There's some links. There's Coraquest. You can search for that, and you will find it, and it's forthcoming. Let me ask you the final. Oh, okay. So people are wanting to know the typical questions. Okay, firstly, in case people still haven't figured this out, where exactly are you?
We're in Huddersfield.
In as much detail as you are willing to share, obviously.
We're in Huddersfield in our attic. That's where we are, Bez.
Ooh, in an attic.
And I'm an office
we're in a rural part of Huddersfield in the Colne Valley, which is a relatively rural part of Huddersfield. And that's where we are.
And we're in our attic.
And we're in our attic, in our house, on our street.
Very fancy.
Yeah.
What time did you wake up? And what did you have for breakfast? Have you had breakfast?
Oh, we did have breakfast. It was a slightly
What did you
panicked.
have?
I had cornflakes because I went down to the shop and there was no parking in the village. So I had to drive back here because I didn't want to be late for Bez. So I had cornflakes.
I had peanut butter bagels.
Peanut butter bagels.
Nice.
Pretty
Not
good.
just peanut butter toast. Got to get fancy with them bagels. I'm digging it. I've got to admit, this is all I've had this morning.
Oh,
Yeah.
a smoothie, or is it cranberry juice? Like
No, it's literally just water.
Oh, what?
It's literally just water.
Yeah.
I thought the
I will
balls.
admit that last night, okay, in honor of Essen, I opened this, which is mead with added cherry juice and Scottish whiskey from the Metwasser. And you can see how much I've drunk since last night.
That sounds very nice. I like mead, actually. Yeah.
I do. And also it's an appropriate color.
Yeah.
Sipping it very, very slowly.
Yes. Whiskey in the morning isn't usually the best. Isn't usually the best thing. But let's go. I mean, Cora likes it, but I don't.
Jess says they're actually from Dobcross in Saddleworth, but they lived in the Huddersfield by the main bus station.
Ah, right, those flats. Some flats. We're not saying the village just because, I don't know, just for online safety. Not that I think you're going to come and murder us, Jess, but still.
Yeah, that makes...
The valley. The valley.
So the question was it a traditional Huddersfield breakfast? I mean, it sounds like... Is it a typical breakfast for you, is the other question.
Yeah, that leads...
Bagels. Bagels are a traditional Huddersfield meal.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
Yeah,
they're not. It's like bagels.
I do like a good full English breakfast, but there's no way I was going to get up and get ready for this in time and cook that. It takes me a long time to turn off the smoke alarms after I've done a full English breakfast, so I didn't have enough time to do that.
Okay, I think people are going to be annoyed if I don't ask these, so let's just get to the typical things. So I've got a few standard questions. Firstly, what's the last physical game you played, Cora?
I think it was... Wait, what? Physical game?
I think you mean a game we played that wasn't on the computer.
Gizmo, I think.
Gizmos, yeah.
Yeah, it was Gizmo.
Same for you. Okay, books or podcasts, Cora?
Books.
Podcasts.
Yeah, I thought so.
Okay, what's the last book you read, Cora?
What did you say?
What's last book?
I'm currently reading The Nowhere Emporium.
Ooh.
Last book I finished was called Cogheart.
You're big into Harry Potter as well, aren't you? You made your way through most of the Harry Potter books over the...
I've read 5. Yeah, 5.
She doesn't know that Dumbledore dies at the end, so don't tell her.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Right. The last book I read...
For goodness sake, Dan.
I already know.
She already knows.
Yeah, but people watching might not know.
Yeah, people watching might not know.
Oh, that's true. I apologise. If nobody knows that Dumbledore dies at the end of Harry Potter, I apologise. I don't know what other book. I've been reading a lot of comics recently, so I've been reading. Oh yeah, I like that. I'll have that. I'll take it. Michael.
Ruiner is your middle name. Ruiner is your
middle name. Dan the Ruiner Hughes. I like it. Yeah, I think the last full book I read was something by P.G. Wodehouse. I read a lot of P.G. Wodehouse.
Someone just said, "Who is Dumbledore?"
You've been reading Calvin and Hobbes a lot as well, haven't you?
Yeah. Someone just said, "Who is Dumbledore?"
And hello, it's Artwin.
Hello.
Lovely to see you. So, favorite color to play, Dan?
I'm green.
Yeah.
In fact,
Cora.
I can't cope without playing in green. Go on,
Exactly. Whenever I play green, he thinks it's him.
I can move all the pieces.
Blue or red?
Cards or cubes?
Cards or
Cards or cubes? Ooh.
cube, like dice. Oh,
Yay, cubes like dice or little wooden cubes or
We don't play that many games with little wooden cubes. You know, we don't
or
play many
dice.
Euros.
I like card games a lot.
You like cards? Oh, you can't hold them, can you? That's it.
Yeah, I have this wood thing, and then it goes.
Oh, one of those card holders.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're really good.
It's a wood semicircle, and it's got a little slit in it, and you put your cards in it.
For any parents out there, that's the top gaming accessory you should buy is a card holder. They're very
Remember,
cheap.
We did a top 10 card games, and one of them was.
Yeah.
Hello, John. The little ones are apparently hoping to submit in some creatures
Excellent.
for Coraquest. Oh yeah, do you want? So basically, you've got this thing where anyone is allowed to draw some things for Coraquest, and I think did I actually say to Jess and Kathleen Mercury that they should get in on this action?
Yeah.
If there's a teacher, they're allowed to kind of just get all their kids to draw little monsters for the game.
Oh yeah, well, everyone's allowed to draw whatever they want, really, aren't they? But yeah, we made a game over lockdown called Coraquest, and then it kind of snowballed, and while it was a game for just us two for a while, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then we made it public.
And we made it public, and then loads of people very generously, as the community is very generous, play tested it and gave suggestions, and our artist friend Gary got on board, and not even got on board, just sent us a load of art he'd done for it, and it was amazing. It kind of started making us visualize it as an actual thing rather than just a project.
I sort of did the monsters, and he coloured them in.
Yeah.
I like that. Cards or cubes.
Hippos, yeah. So anyway, yeah. So, but the game is going to be almost completely drawn by kids, with Gary being the art director and pulling it together to make it more consistent. And so we've on our Facebook group and
so
website.
Is there an age that you have to be underneath?
No,
if a 40-year-old feels like they really want to get involved, would you look down on that?
Do it, baby. Do it. Yeah. Anyone can be creative. That's the core message of
Are you
Coraquest.
asking if you can do it?
Yeah, I think he probably is.
I'm not. She.
Sorry, I apologise.
I'm not 40 years old for the record, but you know, if potentially someone was 40-something years old, could they jump in with stuff?
Definitely.
Yes. We can't guarantee everything's going to be used, but we will use as much as we can. There you go.
Okay, so let's get to this main topic. Like, why did you start it? Like, lockdown had just happened. It is like not the best time. Let's get into what was going through your head. Who initiated this? How did you start and why?
Once we were just sitting around in a quarry, and then Dad talked to me about I think it was called Dungeon Maker. And it was just, you could just make dungeons with it. And then we decided that we were gonna have gonna make a dungeon crawler board game. Pretty much how it started.
Yeah, I'd come across a program that was quite cheap that made dungeon tiles, yeah. So I said, "Do you want to fancy making a dungeon?" And to be honest, we were getting a bit bored with the homeschooling they were sending home, weren't we? Because we've got enough of Romans and Titanic.
Yeah, Dad was really annoyed that we were doing only on Romans.
Yes, Romans again.
Romans.
So we thought as a way of working on some maths and some art and some creative writing and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, the creative writing.
She doesn't like creative writing, unfortunately.
I do a bit more now, but it's just hard to think of.
You don't really like writing, do you? But you have to do it, so tough.
When it's based off of something, I can do it.
Yeah. So we decided just to have a play, didn't we? And we did about a couple of hours the first morning, and you got really excited by doing it. Mm-hmm. I remember you turning to me and saying, "Oh, I love this," because the concept that you could make your own game hadn't really occurred to you, had it really? You just saw them as manufactured things that came in a box. And the fact you're allowed to, it's almost like you're allowed to make your own game.
I know. I remember once I was about maybe, 5, and I tried maybe 4, and I made like a little board game.
Yeah, that was cool though.
It was a little card game that I put a picture of a cartoon drawn by me, so it wasn't very good. And then
it was good.
And then you have to turn it. You have to guess who it is, and turn it around, and it has the name on it.
I remember that. Yeah. So it was like a quiz, wasn't it? You made. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
From under 5s.
Yeah. The trick was it was your drawing.
Yeah.
So sometimes it was difficult because it wasn't your own interpretation.
Yeah.
And also there were all cartoons that a lot of
This reminds me, I don't know if you know Antoinette Mason, but they do badly drawn board game covers. So it's like a board game cover which is just drawn in black and white, and then you need to guess, okay, which board game is it? And it sounds quite kind of similar in some ways. That it's, hey, here's something that's been drawn with these sets of limitations.
Yes. It was like that, wasn't it? This game you did.
It was just drawings of.
And how long ago was that?
It's when you were 5. So that's 3
years
ago. I think
it was about 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So I'll be 3 or 4 years ago.
So that was something that you actually made for the family, and then the family enjoyed. Is this then the second game that you ever started?
Yeah.
I think so. We used to.
Well, I used to get like marbles and make up. You've got to put it in this circle to get this many points, and
things like that.
I remember once. I can't remember the rules to it, but I made a marble game that I played with my grandma.
So I think kids always make up games. I mean, that's part of it.
I made up a game at school with a grid.
Yeah, you made up a game at
Hello,
school.
David. It's lovely
Hello,
to see you in the chat. Don't know you, but thank you for joining us.
There's a yellow grid in my school playground, and I made a little game on that. You have to. There's someone in the middle, 4 people in the corners, and then they have to go clockwise or anti-clockwise to the other corner without you getting them. If you get them, they're in the middle.
So I think basically Cora says she's never made any games, and then she tells us 22 games she's made. But yeah, it's
nice to make an actual board game that actual people can.
And it's nice, as David says, it's nice that loads of people are getting involved. As I say, it feels like we started it, but everyone else is running with it, which makes me feel a bit guilty that we're making it into a product, because it really feels like it belongs to the community, which is really cool. Fortunately, it's unlikely we'll make any money on it, so that's fine.
I mean, yeah, that's a thing that I'm very public. That I realised around the start of this year that frankly all my self-publishing since literally since In a Bind. So I think actually In a Bind Junior might have made me a tiny bit of money, but definitely everything since then, like the L Deck and Kitty Cataclysm, I would have been better off not doing it. Like financially, I actually lost money, which is quite a sad thing to realize. And I mean, but you've got to remember that there's value in so many other ways. There's value in like the joy that you bring to people. And so why do you think you are enjoying, and also there's value in the process itself. So I would like to focus a little bit on the process. So what are some of the parts of the process that you have enjoyed the most?
Art. I really liked the drawing my own characters and the monsters and baddies and items. I really like drawing. Pretty much it. I also liked. No, that's it. I liked other bits of it, but that's the thing that I liked most significantly.
The most, yeah. I've kind of shielded Cora a little bit from the play testing in that we do have regular play tests, just us two. But if she plays the game over and over again, I think it's gonna wear thin, especially especially near the beginning. It wasn't quite good enough either. Yeah,
but I think I don't think everyone will play it 100 times over.
Well, they might do it. That'd be good. But yeah,
let's get into that. Like, let's get into how you divided the roles. Like, what is Cora doing? What's Dan doing? What's everybody else doing so far? Can you give a bit of credit to everyone? And also, a tangential question, very much on point. Is there going to be a page like a story credits? I don't know. Have you seen my Wibble Plus Plus Deluxe? How like I have half a page that's just this is the story of how it got made. So it's not just a list of names, but it's actually explain exactly what they do.
I'm writing that down.
I don't just put developer blah blah blah, playtester blah blah blah. I say actually this person had this idea.
That's really good because that fits very well within the story. Although people find out that I had very little to do with it, and all I did was get other people to think of the ideas for me, for us rather.
Yeah.
At the beginning, it was both of us, wasn't it? We both sat down. Cora decided what kind of game we wanted it to be.
If we decided to make a card game, it wouldn't be at all what it is now. Because I decided it would be a dungeon crawler, so that made everything different.
Because you wanted to, you quite enjoy dungeon crawlers, don't you? You play Zombie Side and things like that.
I really like Zombie Side.
But there's nothing really aimed at, especially if you look at the younger end.
Yeah.
Like 6 and up. I know you're not 6, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
When you were 6,
there
was nothing that was really simple enough for you to play. So we wanted to make something simple. But you asked about the division of roles. Cora, you did all the art.
Yeah.
You decided.
And then Gary just coloured it in.
Yeah, Gary coloured it in. You decided on the characters.
And the type of game. Decided on the characters.
We had a session where we went through and thought up items and things like that, didn't we, for treasure?
We went on Google a bit for the armor.
Yeah, we went, but that was part of your history as well. We went on Google to look at different historical weapons and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you came up with the names of the characters because I wouldn't have come up with those names.
Crossbow
Dude, and and you did all the backgrounds for them, didn't you?
Yeah.
I've written all the quests so far, or you're in the middle of well, you're going to start.
When you say the background, so this is like little bits of a story about.
Yeah, and that all came from, because I say it came out of a homeschooling project, really. So it all came out of wanting to do some English language work. So we got 6 play characters, and Cora did background stories for all of them and things like that. But they're going to go in the game, obviously, and. UK, we talked about mechanics, didn't we? And we did some dice probabilities. So we looked at all the dice probabilities again that's maths. And you decided how good you wanted people to be at various different things, didn't you?
Yeah. We had like a little chart, and then we had bars as agility, and then I put a line for how good I want them to be at agility, and then maybe strength, and I put a line there.
Yeah.
So some are a bit more powerful than others. But then they have different strengths. So one might be more powerful in strength, but the other one will be in movement or something.
That's right. And as it went on, those kind of things changed due to play testing, and the game evolved, and it was quite a complex game. You tired? It was quite a complex game initially, so we boiled it down a lot, but that's kind of the origins of it, really. And now as I say, I've written most of the quests. Cora playtests all the quests and makes suggestions where it works and where it doesn't, and we have a weekly meeting, don't we? Which is not an excuse for an ice cream. I don't care what anyone says. It's not an excuse for going out for coffee and ice cream. And any kind of suggestions or play testing.
How long is this meeting?
How long does it take you to eat an ice cream? We have a.
Well, the time before last time we did it, we said everything in the car.
We did. We finished all our meeting in the car on the way to the ice cream place. So we're not allowed to talk about Coraquest until we get in there and have our official meeting now. But we go through any kind of changes the playtesters have suggested, and all the kind of marketing and all that kind of stuff, just so Cora knows what's going on with it, really, and you can yes or no things and veto things.
Yeah.
So Cora's like the executive producer at the moment, and I'm doing the grunt work.
It's white poop.
White poop. It's ice cream, not white poop.
Yeah.
Graceful.
What? It's clearly ice cream.
If it just had the eyes, then it would literally look like the white poop would.
That's not right. That
it would.
It's you're right.
It would. Okay, it would.
Sure, if you just had the ice cream swirly bits, it would look like the poop emoji, but it doesn't have that. You're just subverting it now, Cora.
When me and Bez were children, we used to get white dog poo, but you don't do that anymore. It doesn't happen anymore.
I feel.
Like dog poo? I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know. You're too young. You're obviously too young. In the streets, there used to be white dog poo all over the place.
Yeah.
It's back when people used to give dogs bones. They don't do that anymore. And they also used to let their dogs go out whenever they want.
Yeah, Jess doesn't know what you're talking about either.
Yeah. Oh, where are you going? It's Bez's fault for making Cora sit on pillows. She's uncomfortable. You're a harsh man.
Okay, I'm going to ask this question from David Slivens. So I know you're a man of many projects, Dan, but has Coraquest made you think more about board game designs in the future? Might this inspire more things from you?
But maybe a little bit. I'm a man of many projects and a man of fleeting interests. So I've got no desire. The insight I've had into marketing and what you need to do to make successful things and things like that hasn't really left me with a taste to do more of it. I'm more of a public sector individual than an entrepreneur.
He always goes on one subject, sticks with it for maybe a week or mostly 2 days, and then he goes off it and goes on to another one. And I said he'd do that with the stamps, and he said, "No, I'm not," and then he did it.
Stamps?
I had a week-long dalliance with stamp collecting.
A week long, and then he just stops.
So Cora, what I'm hearing is that you know Dan better than Dan you know yourself.
No, I'm well. She does know me very well, obviously, but yeah, no, I'm well aware of my fickle nature. I flip from hobby to hobby. I see it through though. This is going to be seen through, but I don't know. I'd say no, but then I had this. I was on Twitter and I saw Jeff Engelstein had written a tweet about. I don't know if you ever heard the song "Poisoning Pigeons in the Park." It's by, I can't remember his name. It's by the same guy who did Camp Granada. So like, hello mother, hello father, here I am in Camp Granada. Anyway, he's a famous humorist musician, and they've recently made all their back catalogue copyright free, which is very very generous. And Jeff he's got an idea now for doing a game about poisoning pigeons in the park. And I thought, actually, you could do this for that game. And I started coming up with mechanics. I went, oh, hang on, am I now a board game designer? Is now that now what I do? I wasn't intending to be that. So we'll see.
I mean, I was listening to your Chaos into Order show.
Order into Chaos, yeah.
Order into Chaos.
Or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Let me double check.
I could tell the name of my own podcast, shouldn't I? Order from Chaos. It's a podcast.
Order from Chaos. That's the one. Anyway, so yeah, I was listening to that, and then that gave me the idea of like a brand new party game. That's maybe we might play on Tuesday.
Yeah,
and it's like, once you've started thinking through things through the perspective of, okay, how might these turn into games, and then. Yeah, hello Tom. This is Tom.
No. And Tom Leher is the name of the artist. I was trying to think of the name of it. So yes, you're right, Nord.
No, but Nordlook is Tom Cauldron.
Oh, I see. I understand.
The real name is Tom Cauldron. So Tom Cauldron is asking, is Tom Lehrer?
It's very confusing.
Tom.
So anyway, Tom. Anyways, aim question for Cora. David Slivens wants to know, Cora. Do you think you might make another game after Coraquest? Are you enjoying it?
I'm quite enjoying it. I think I don't think we will, but I think it will be fun.
Yeah, maybe some expansions. You never know.
We've got like all the Funkoverse expansions.
We've got all the Funkoverse expansions. That's true. Yeah.
I think we have every single one.
It feels like we've kind of touched upon. Dan, why you started it, because like there is just so much educational value in teaching maths, getting Cora to be like, boo, you must write. It
was a little bit like that, yeah.
But Cora, how did you feel about this? Like, was this just a more fun way to do your homework, basically? Why did you do it?
Because I really liked the idea of I've played so many board games, like playing them, that it feels quite really, really cool to actually make one myself. And imagine I'm like one of the designers.
You are one of the designers.
It's not fully done yet.
It's not fully done yet. No, I don't think any game's fully done. I think everyone wishes they could keep. Bez does board game design, and I bet she says that it never really feels done.
I've said this many times. Even after a game's published, it's still not really done.
Yeah.
And you might change it for the 2nd edition or the 3rd edition. Who knows?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
when we get the 1 million copies sold edition, then we'll change it. Maybe, you never know.
Whoa! So you're committing no changes until 1 million copies.
You will not get a better game until you bought 1 million copies.
Wow. So I want to get to the main topic, which is all about bonding. So I wanted to touch upon, it seems like even before this all started, you had a lovely relationship. Let's start with Cora, if that's okay. Cora, how would you describe your relationship with Dan?
Well, I don't know.
Like,
there's not really any describing words for it.
Like, do you spend a lot of time together?
Yes, we're quite a lot. We used to spend a little bit more because when I was in nursery, I had a lot less school days. And every day we went, not every day, I think it was every week, we went to the swimming pool, to the ice cream place, and the library.
Yeah, we did a round, didn't we?
Yeah.
I've always been, for a while I was a part-time stay-at-home parent. This is for my son. But we've always had a day together, haven't we? With all my kids, I have a day where I'm solely responsible for childcare, and usually within the week, my wife's at work. And so that was our day, wasn't it? Wednesdays was Daddy Cora Day.
Yeah.
And we used to, have a set routine of nice things to do.
I think it was ice cream, swimming, then library.
Yeah, ice cream, swimming, library. That's what we used to do. Yeah. But how wonderful do you think I am? On a scale of 1 to 10, do you think I'm 9 wonderful or 10 wonderful? 8! Get to bed!
It's not the afternoon.
It's not the afternoon yet. No, you go to bed at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
No.
Yeah.
And Dave Sliven says, now it's all business meetings and planning, straight from nursery to corporate life.
That's right. Exploiting my daughter for
business.
For
meetings.
business. Yeah.
Business.
They are
meetings.
proper business. Don't tell anybody. Yeah.
So, Dan, in all seriousness, do you think it has actually changed your relationship? Do you think it has fostered any extra bonding?
In all seriousness, no. Because if I'm honest, I like to think me and Cora have a relatively good relationship, a good relationship anyway, as far as a father-daughter thing. I think what it did do was very much make the process of homeschooling during COVID a lot easier. I
mean, I was fine with it all, but
yeah. I mean, you were fine with it, but you started wearing after a while. And Cora is 8, and unlike my other 2 children who are 16 and 14 now, 14. Yeah. I knew it. I think she's like his birthday on the weekend. They're able to communicate with their friends and things via their phones and tablets and chatting and all that kind of stuff, and even go out of the house and go for walks with friends and things like that. Cora isn't old enough really to do any of that. None of her friends are on social media, and so during the lockdown, it's actually been quite nice. The people who are the most isolated during lockdown, in my opinion, were the under 10s, because they're away from their school, they're away from their friends, and they're just with their parents all the time. So it was, I think what it did do was give us an incredibly good way of having fun while still doing what needed to be done, because obviously there's a huge gap in kids' education as well, which has the potential to be quite damaging, and it's something I worry about in the long term. But and their social education as well. So yeah. So I wouldn't say. I'd say it was part of the continued strengthening of our bond rather than changed anything. If you see what I mean, it was another way of helping our relationship. Without it, I would like to think we would still be, I'd still quite like her, but it was an enjoyable and fun way to continue doing that.
I mean, it sounds like it's really just another thing in the toolbox of, hey, here's a bunch of things we can do together. Because like suddenly you're not able to go to the park or swimming. And so look, the question is, would you recommend this to other people to kind of, let me ask Cora, do you reckon that it would be a good thing for more 8-year-olds with their parents to design a board game?
I think it would, because it's quite fun, and there's some schoolwork in it, like maths and literacy, and it's quite a lot of trying to figure things out in your head, and like it's a little bit like problem solving, not really.
No, it is problem solving, yeah.
It's just a different kind of problem.
Yeah, but it doesn't always have to be about education either, does it? It can just be about...
I think it's also a good way to like get your friend to like talk with your friends about it, and you can... So when you're trying to sell it, then you obviously probably sell it to your friends. That's another way you can also...
Exploit your friends. That's what I say. It's the board gaming way. It's the board gaming way. Exploit your friends. Yeah. No, it's I'm just being daft. Don't worry.
Like you always are.
Like I always am. That's true. Yeah, I think I would recommend it as an activity.
Am I allowed to ask, Cora? Is your mum's less silly than your dad?
What did you say?
Is mum less silly than me?
Yes.
Are you kind of like the chaotic one, Dan? And
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
I just straight away said yes.
Yeah. I'm also as I say, you've got to be careful with these things because you get the best presentation when you're in front of social media. I'm also the one with the quickest temper, I'd say. So I'm not by no means perfect. But yeah.
Definitely not.
Right.
And hello, Steve, who says, when did Bez lose the facial hair? Wow, you've not seen me for many years. I've been clean shaven for 1.5 years now. I was a bit off topic. It's totally fine. There is a lot of chats about Thailand, but please, chat amongst yourselves. That's what we're talking about. Like, it's about the community. And even though I might not bring it up and show it on screen, it's lovely to see people, connecting, like Jess and David, and like just having fun chats. And so please do carry on. And so even though I might not show it on screen, that doesn't mean that I don't appreciate that and love it. And I love that type.
That's much better.
Cora, do you know anyone sillier than your dad?
Maybe my friend, maybe one of my friends, but I'm not sure. Probably not.
So out of your entire class, how many people are in your class?
24.
So,
24 or 25. I think 25.
Cora's class is very unusual in that Cora's school is so small that her class is a number of different years at the same time.
Yeah. So you got reception year 1. That's in one class. Year 2, year 3. Then year 4, year 5, year 6 in another class.
Yeah. I've only got 4 teachers at her school.
And not true.
Not true. Okay. So what I'm hearing is that we can't trust anything that Dan says.
This is that.
Yeah.
First she called me bald, and now she's calling me untrustworthy. It's a disgrace.
No, I'm just calling you a bit of a joker. It's like
jokers on this live cast to be insulted.
She just turned the Alexa.
You've set Alexa off now, Bez. You're in trouble. Right.
It's like
chaos. Oh,
there's clowns to the left of me, and now there's jokers to the right.
There you are. Look at this technical wizardry.
Here I am, stuck, in the middle of you. What's going on?
You can't quite get in the middle, can you? That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go in the middle.
You need to hold up a little puppet of you, like here.
Did you spend like, presumably, it sounds like you've done a lot of help with taking Cora to nursery, and Cora, you spent lots of time getting help from your dad with homework in general and stuff. I don't know.
We didn't used to get a lot of homework, and well, he doesn't really help with homework, but sometimes he picks me up from school, drops me off.
Yeah. That's when you see most of my anger, isn't it? The other people on the road. Go on.
Oh, no, I was going to say, like, how does the quality of time that you're spending now compare to a year ago?
Maybe, I think the same, probably. Maybe a tiny bit more.
That's a really interesting question, actually.
I think it would be a tiny bit more, but I'm not quite sure.
As a parent of two other children who knows very well that as time goes on, the entire act of parenthood is an exercise in letting go. Right at the beginning, when they're a baby, they're completely reliant on you, and then as time goes on, they move further. You've moved further and further apart, and I think this COVID situation, in general, has put a little bit of a stop to some of that, because families have been forced to spend a lot more time together. Less so now, as schools are back open and you can go out and things. Although we'll see how long that lasts. But certainly in the beginning days of it, we suddenly became a family unit again. So that's that side of thing. And I think this Coraquest thing has meant we spent more time together than we usually would do, because when we haven't been doing stuff around that, you've been doing the usual things of wanting to play on your iPad, reading in your bedroom, shaving hedgehogs, all that kind of stuff. So that's her favorite hobby, is shaving hedgehogs. She every night she's out looking for them, aren't you, with your scissors and your razor. So
Cora, what does Dan even mean by that?
I have no idea.
That's the first thing I thought of. Something insulting. So no, I think this has caused us to spend a very different type of time together, I'd say, and also on an equal creative footing as well, which has been interesting. I'd be very keen to try and. It's difficult when there's a power differential in any kind of relationship. As I'm a psychiatric nurse, and there's always a power differential between me and my patient, which you try and even out as much as possible, but you can't get rid of it completely. And similarly with the parent and child, there's always going to be a power differential, and if there isn't, actually, that can be very problematic anyway. But creatively trying to bring that down as much as possible, and try to encourage her not to just defer to me, and if she disagrees with me to say it and things like that, because kids have now I've tried to. Cora is less so than most kids, but kids have a kind of propensity to believe their parent is always right. Now Cora knows from experience that is very untrue,
because you just talk rubbish some of the time.
I talk a load.
You know, it's how he said from experience.
Because I talk bold and dash. But to try and get that power differential down, isn't it? Not that you know what power differential means.
No.
You just keep on nodding.
Cora, can I genuinely ask you, do you feel more confident in talking to your dad now, having made this game together?
Yeah, I think I do quite a lot. And there's nothing else I can really explain, to be honest.
Like, how often do you kind of wag your finger at your dad and say, no, that's a terrible idea?
Well, he doesn't often have that terrible idea. I need to say no.
No, she wouldn't let me call it Dan Quest, though. I want to call it. I'm fed up of calling it Coraquest. I think Dan Quest is much better, I would say. Dan Quest.
It's the cuss sound, isn't it? The qu and the k.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
it's kind of like alliteration. I'm with Cora on this one. Coraquest, Candy Quest, and Kira Quest. You know,
Cora Stinks Quest.
Fine. Candy Quest could be a. No, it's too American. But that's
Yeah, it'd be weird if we said Candy Quest.
Calippo Quest. That's very English. Calippos.
Yeah, we're just like Candy Quest. We're from England.
What's a Calippo?
Do you know what a Calippo is? Do you know what a Calippo is?
Yeah, it's a clothes and a cool.
Tell her what a Calippo is.
It's like a ice lolly that usually you get orange one. Orange ones. You gotta squeeze them. They're like in these cone shapes.
Yeah.
And they're like ice lollies. And
man, but then you need to get like sponsorship or licensing. David asks, how about Dan Dungeons? That could
I
be
like
a
it.
sequel.
I like it, David. Maybe that will be the second better sequel. Where I dump my rubbish co-designer. Get rid of the co-designer and just go alone. Yeah.
Oh man, this is like trouble in paradise. I didn't mean to split up the group at all, but
you like Yoko Ono.
Man, no, it's not me. It's David. David Sliven. Okay.
David did some amazing art for. David's a man who has done some amazing art for Coraquest.
Can I ask you a little bit about your family? You've said that they aren't into board games, so we'll speak no more about them. But is that actually true? Do they never play board games with you?
I did a series on the Dice Tower about my eldest daughter and how when I first got into board gaming, she was into board gaming, and I pushed her too hard to play with me, and then drove her away from it. Actually,
she doesn't like board games.
She doesn't like board games. She will play if it's not our family, and when she does play, like we play Llama and stuff, haven't we?
Yeah,
she's really enjoyed it.
Oh, the one by Rainer Knizia, the simple card game.
Superb game is Llama. I'm a massive fan.
Really good game. Never put down a 1.
Never put that. No, that's rubbish. That's a rubbish tactic. Anyway, yeah. So my son plays board games. He likes Euros. I played Wingspan with him the other day. He likes Glenmore as well. But
so these are some quite heavy strategic games.
Yeah. He usually beats me as well. He's quite a bright kid. He's Evan. Amy prefers.
Usually beat you.
How rude. Amy prefers party games, and she likes playing with a wider group other than our family. If when she's come occasionally to one of our board game days, she's really enjoyed playing party games with other people, but she doesn't like just playing with our family. She enjoyed Dixit the other day, didn't she?
But then she always says she don't want to play.
Yeah, and Mum, my wife, she enjoys it when she plays.
But she's not as into it as we are.
She would never ask to play, so
probably not.
I'd suggest it, and she'd go, "Oh yeah, okay, let's have a go." But she's just a take it or leave it person, which is fine. You don't have to force all your big lesson I learned with Amy is you don't force people who don't want to play board games to play board games with you.
Or anything else, not just board games.
That's true. You can't make people like what you like, can you?
That's very true. And we have to kind of lose a little bit of that ego that says, okay, what I love is so much a part of me that if you dismiss it, instantly I take that as an attack upon myself.
Yes, that's true.
That's almost such a horrible thing, and it permeates so much of our culture.
You're right. You're absolutely spot on, and it's a massive problem at the moment that people are investing their sense of self by external things. So, and you see, so even some of the stuff like with the toxic fandom things, like with Star Wars and stuff. Sorry, this is one of my rants. Is that because people take so much of something that is externally not within their control, like Star Wars. I'm a massive Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars, and they make it part of their identity. When that franchise or whatever does something they don't like, it feels like there's an absolute attack on their core, and they get so upset, and it feels like a direct attack. When in reality, what the problem is you've hung your identity on something that you've got no external no control over. Same with politics, same just all these things. I think it's important to divorce what your passions are from your actual sense of inner being and realize that these things can wax and wane.
I mean, it's a difficult thing because even when it's your own creation, I mean, I'm sure that both of you feel like you've invested a lot of yourself. I mean, Cora, it's literally your name on the box. It's called Coraquest. And presumably this fills you with pride. How would you describe how you feel about this so far?
I feel quite excited about it because, as I said before, as playing so many board games, it feels really weird to actually design my own that other people play. It is there's no single word to describe it.
Sorry, Xate's made a funny comment like ages ago to say like, yeah, family and friends, it's not real people. But when it's a stranger, it does feel so much different.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And you've already heard, presumably, of people that you've never heard of before, Cora, in playing your game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and sending us pictures of them playing our game as well,
Yeah.
and stuff, because people have printed, because you can print and play it. It's always going to be free, print and play. So people have printed and played it, and we've seen pictures and people sending in pictures. I mean, are you aware of Jerry Hawthorne? He wrote Mice and Mystic. Out of the blue, he just sent us a load of stuff he's done for it. Really generous.
Put some funny character sheets.
Yeah. He's done like mice things, hasn't he? He's adapted the game to fit a mouse world and things like that, which is really gratifying, really kind.
One of them was a needle sword.
A needle sword, that's it, and a cork helmet. I think another one was. I can't remember the button shield, but yeah.
Would have been like a bottle cap.
Can't remember. I'll have to look at it. But yeah, I can't remember the question. Sorry.
No, it was just basically about how Cora was feeling. It was
well, not interested in that.
So I'm going to do the question from Ed Artwin, who has another question for you, Cora. Do you think that designing board games will help you in your school future?
Probably not, because I don't think many of my other friends really like board game, and they play some of the board games like Buckaroo and stuff, and maybe the what's it called where you got to do the letter and
Tappill.
Quick.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, no, it doesn't matter.
I don't think many of them like board games as much as I do, and some of them might buy some maybe, but I don't think so much, but maybe a little.
If I could answer that as a little bit, I think they might be talking about whether it's going to help you in your schoolwork, as in academically. But I think that will tell. But I think the increasing confidence that just because the knowledge that just because it comes in a packaged thing like a book or a film or a board game, there's still somebody behind it who created that, and anyone can do it ultimately. That the confidence that comes with that, I think, will be very, very useful going forward. And as we go towards Kickstarter, and I'm planning on keeping Cora very much involved in all the manufacturing, although she's not particularly interested in all the manufacturing quotes. But she will learn. She will hear about them. Damn it. That we will. That gives a greater insight into how things are made and things like that. And it's not something they generally teach at school, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think it will be of benefit. Whether that will mean the difference between a grade A or a grade B in history, I doubt. But I think in a kind of sense of confidence, and yeah, I'm hoping so anyway.
And Cora, Edartwin asks, does working out the statistics of the dice rolling, maybe that might help you with maths homework? That's the kind of thing that David was asking.
Well, I don't think it really will, because we don't use. I'm not quite sure. I don't think
they probably haven't.
That.
They haven't done it yet at school. I think is the key, and hopefully, when it comes to it, it won't be new to you. These are the concepts that we've talked about already. As I say, I'm not sure Cora is the best person to appreciate the educational.
Yeah, maybe like in 10 years' time, we could have a look back at it if you're still interested in coming on. After you've been through the education system.
She's too deep in it to be able to get a perspective on it. See you later, David.
And they say, good luck with the game. Excited to see more developments. Oh, thank you very much. And stay safe and enjoy paradise, Jess. So, because Jess is in Thailand, of course. But yeah, this feels like we've pretty much touched upon everything we needed to do, and I know that we did. I should have said at the start to warn everyone, this is going to be a little. Cora, what is the probability of rolling a 9 on 2 6-sided dice? Express your answer as a percentage to 2 decimal places, says Tom.
On 2 6-sided dice, so not just can't roll on one.
Yeah, well, she knows that. You can roll a 6 on a 9 on a 6-sided dice if it's not dots, if it's numbers, and then you just turn it around and then make it into a 9. So it's 1 in 6.
Or if it's weird 6-sided dice. I mean,
that's true.
It's got 6 sides. It might not run 1 to 6.
If they've all got 9 on it, then it's 100%.
Yeah.
With 2 6-sided dice, then you could do it with a 5 and a 4, and probably some other things as well. 3
and a 6.
3 and a 6.
I think that's about it, though, isn't it?
3, 6, 5, 4. That's 2.
Right. This is your fault, Nordlock. You're going to have us working out maths all day now. You're going to have a 3-hour stream of.
So maybe it's still a little bit above your level, but kind of the point is that these concepts are something that you are even able to start doing. So it would be like 436, surely, whatever. But I can't.
I don't know. I would know how to even start working that out.
It would be a 6 and a 3, a 3 and a 6, 5 and a 4, and a 4 and a 5.
Yeah, but it gets very complicated.
So there's 4 possibilities out of the 36 possibilities.
So.
All right. Okay.
Out of the what's possible?
36 possibilities.
Because there are 6 ways that the first die could happen, and then there are 6 ways that the second die could happen. So I'm just going to take a break from the regular scheduled thing and talk about probability for 8-year-olds for a quick minute. So, assuming there's a standard 6-sided dice, by which I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there are 6 possibilities, right, in the first one, and then 6 possibilities in the second one. So there's 36 together, 6 times 6, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And so out of all those 36 possibilities, you think about how many of the 36 possibilities would actually make a 9. So if you've got, like you said, a 4 and a 5...
He's fooled you into doing maths, Cora. I'm sorry, Des.
4 and a 5, or a 5 and a 4, or a 3 and a 6, or a 6 and a 3. So...
That's 4 possible. Is it 4?
4 out of 36.
4 out of 36.
I think that's possible.
Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry.
I'm not meant to be doing maths.
It's a Saturday.
Oh, man.
No maths Saturdays.
Bones and Banners asks, isn't it harder to design games for kids than for adults, really? Well, I don't know if it's... Well,
you can more, like... I'm not sure. I think it might be a bit of the same because you just sort of start with one concept that we thought was just dungeon crawler game, and then we sort of worked out from there.
Tried to make it as simple as possible, didn't we? It could be. Depends. It's. They often say that writing for children is harder than writing for adults, and I can see that as well. I think it's important. The reason writing for children is harder, I suspect, and equally, the reason why designing a board game for children is that it's very important to remember you're designing not what you think they like, but what they like, if that makes any sense. And so sometimes, like we've had a lot of pressure when we've done our designing diary. Well, Cora won't have been aware of this, but to include things like instead of weapons, have pillows and make everything cutesy and not go with the fantasy tropes and things like that. But when we discussed it with Cora, she wants it. Fantasy tropes are new to her. They're not old and tired. She wants to play games. Tropes, not normal fantasy things that is like common. like
a trope means like something that keeps getting used over and over.
Yeah, like yeah. Gosh,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, okay. So and by kidifying it, by making it with pillows and you know,
Like
means that it feels like you're talking down to her. I think is what was going on, and so and yeah. So I think you need to make sure you're not designing what you think they should like. You're designing what they're actually telling you they like, which is why it's been incredibly useful with Cora being a co-designer, because that's where it's all coming from. Ultimately, Coraquest is called Coraquest because it's designed for Cora. Now, it may not be designed for other kids, and if other kids don't like it, that's absolutely fine. But we're very keen on it being the ownership being on for the kids, and that's why, as I say, it's very customizable as well. It's the large part of it is encouraging children and adults to make it their own, isn't it, and things like that.
We sort of tried to make it so kids would understand it and enjoy it, but adults would really enjoy it as well. Something
you can both play together instead of play down.
Because usually the kids' games I play with you are a bit. You usually like Evan to play more complex games.
Yeah.
And then so this could be a bit both.
As I feel like I should answer this question as well, as a person who's designed a game which was intended for 4 to 8-year-olds. So like Innerbind Junior, I don't know if you played this one. So I kind of came from the position of, okay, you know what? My youngest niece, they are having trouble with this game, distinguishing the left and right and closing just one eye or very small. So I'm going to make it specifically for 4-year-olds because that is the age of the person that I'm testing it with. And so I can say, okay, at least for some 4-year-olds it works. And that's why I said on the Kickstarter, it's for people from 4 to 8. And even older people sometimes say, oh, yeah, I quite like that junior version because it's just a bit easier for me. But on the other end of the scale, sure, I've done some party games. And Wibble, I'm really proud of how the catch-up mechanism allows young people and older people to work together. Well, to play together, I should say, and compete. Because the negative feedback loop, the catch-up mechanism, as you get better and better, it becomes harder and harder for you. So you're still on this equal playing field. But then on the other side of the sense, Seize the Power, which is very much for adults. And this is, a political game about discrimination and subjugation of power. So I wouldn't play it with my 10-year-old niece necessarily. I almost certainly wouldn't. And I would say that it can be so different. But I think, Dan, you said it quite right, that you've got to test with your target audience, no matter who it is. Mm-hmm. And you've got to be thinking about very carefully, not just making assumptions. And there is also the fact that if it's for children, look, any game, if you can simplify it, you should simplify it, in my opinion. It's like, if you can simplify it and not take away from the game, I'm not saying Tolkien should be simpler, but what I'm saying is, if there's parts of this complex game and you can remove this thing and still have it be as good as it is, well, it's kind of making it suitable for the target audience. And certainly for people who've got a lower threshold for complexity, then that can be challenging in its own way. It's all sorts of challenges depending on whether you're trying to make a statement. We've got a bit of chat about Screwball Scramble, how amazing it is. But have you played this?
It's the one where you move the marble along that maze.
Oh, yeah. Wait, the one where you go like that?
Yeah, when you got little knobs and you twist it and things.
Oh,
it's upstairs. We've got it downstairs.
It's a one-player game, and then you just play it on your own, and then you try to get it across, and maybe you take turns.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Then you've got to go find a ball bearing when it's rolled underneath the couch and stuff. That's it.
Yeah.
That was a definite one for my. I've seen Ghost. Did you ever play Ghost Castle, Bez?
No, I don't know Ghost Castle.
It had a skull. It was like a roller move game, and you went around this castle, and there's a skull, and you put it in the chimney, and it rolls down some stairs and knocks over one of the playing pieces every now and again, and things. It's just I've been seeing it a lot recently out, so somebody must be coming out with it again. It's quite exciting because that's a game from my youth. That is.
I mean, Yeah, so much amazing stuff back in the day, and some of it, I love what Restoration Games is doing, but I also love, Kerplunk. I genuinely think that Kerplunk is genuinely a very solid, good game.
You like Kerplunk. There's Guess Who's another one. Guess Who? If that would never been put, no, it's good. It's good. Guess Who?
I really like Guess Who as well.
Yeah. What other games we play? You like Game of Life, don't you? I don't like Game of Life. But we play it.
You just play it with Grandma on FaceTime.
We've got love for Guess Who from Jess.
Yeah.
And Helter Skelter. I've not heard of this one.
Helter Skelter.
Well,
no, I don't know.
That's the theme park one, isn't it?
It is a theme park, right? It must be a game as well. Don't know it though.
Tom asked, has designing a game made you look at other games differently? Like when you play a game, do you think about why the designer decided to do this rather than that?
I don't think it really affected how I see games because I just enjoy them and I just like playing them. That's one of the main reasons I do play them, because I just enjoy it and I like it. So I think I'm more immersed in actually playing the game and trying to win. Or
immersed. That's a good word.
You already did quite a few videos, like Cora. So you're thinking critically about these things anyway, not just did I enjoy it, but why did I enjoy it and why did I not enjoy it?
Yeah.
Do you think you've always been a critical thinker? Dan?
I think Cora has always been one of the reasons that the Dan and Cora videos have done relatively well is we don't obviously script or rehearse anything. We just
like do little notes maybe, and that's it.
I can't remember ever doing any notes.
He just puts like customize, and then we just talk about the customize.
Oh, that's when we're talking about.
Yeah.
You mean when we're talking about Coraquest?
Yeah.
Yeah, to remind me what to go. But when we're reviewing games,
we do nothing.
We do nothing. So we just play it.
Well,
we usually played it a few times beforehand, and we just play it on camera, and then I just say, "So Cora, what do you think about that?"
And then I just start talking.
And then she starts talking, and she often does come out with some very pertinent things about what she likes, usually what she likes, because she's a very positive person, about what she likes about the games and why she likes it and things. So I think
once we had a very good joke, but it was on camera, so we couldn't use it. It would be pretty good if we used it on camera.
Yeah.
Which was it?
He said, "Who's the adult in this house?" And I said, "Mum."
Yeah, that was good, wasn't it? It's a shame the camera wasn't recording it. But yeah, no, she's always been a critical thinker, which is why I think it works when we do kids games review. As I say, when we do one, I'm very careful not to let Cora know what I think of the game, because I don't want, again, that power differential. I don't want my opinion to be influenced on. It wasn't a sick burn; it was a rubbish burn.
Yes, it was.
44 years old.
I know.
So yeah.
I think having chatted to you for an hour and a half, I think I can say that was perfectly appropriate.
I asked Dad how old he was, and he was like, "I can't quite remember." Once me and Amy were actually asking.
Once you get past about 30, Corey, you genuinely can't remember when your last birthday was.
No, not when last birthday was. How old?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You can't remember how old you are. You're you're in your mid-40s somewhere. It's a psychological defense mechanism. That's what I say. Oh, it says there. Look on the bottom.
I know.
How old I am.
Well, you told me. You made it public.
That's fine.
Getting back, and I think if anyone's got any questions, get them in the next minute. We're going to kind of start winding down, making sure that we got to everything. Do you think a family member is a good co-designer? Like, you've not got any experience before this designing any games, either of you?
No, not really. Well, only for fun, but yeah.
Only little games.
Only little games.
That we.
Do you think?
Do
you think a family member's a good co-designer?
I think it is because you know them more than many other people, and it's quite we've probably talked about something like it before, so you can already get something to base off of.
You don't have to be quite as polite. In a situation like Cora and I have got, it's very useful because we've got two very different skill sets. And Cora brings just as much to the process as I do. Cora's got the perspective of knowing what she likes. She's got the perspective of almost naivety, I suppose. You know, wouldn't it be cool if this? You know, very open. And as I say, the perspective of a child, a genuine perspective of a child. Whereas I've got a bit more knowledge about, you know, other games and what works there. Is she laughing at me again?
Something in the chat.
No, I'm laughing at you. You two have made me laugh more than any other guests. I'm just enjoying chatting to you both so much.
It's your funny face, that's why. You look a bit like a...
I mean... Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Look, the question was, so like with families, it sounds like having that knowledge of each other.
That is rude. Sorry, I'm just looking at the chat there. He's being rude.
Having that knowledge of each other, and it sounds like that same thing would apply potentially, might say, if you're in a relationship, like if you're in a romantic relationship and you both enjoy board games, but going back to what you said earlier, don't push it on someone. Don't be like, oh, I love board games. Do you kind of like board games? Do you want to make one together? It has to be like from both of you, right?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I think that's good advice in absolutely everything. I mean, just because you in a relationship of any kind with somebody doesn't mean to say you have to like exactly the same things. And it's a very healthy relationship where you can go off to your own corners, do your thing, and then come back together. And that's the same for a parent-child relationship as it is for a romantic relationship as it is for a friendship. That's what I would say.
Did you learn anything about each other whilst co-designing, do you think?
A little bit. Not really.
What did you learn about me? That I'm an awesome
You're more silly than I thought you were.
What?
I always thought you were very, very...
No tea for you tonight. I learned that Cora is even more creative than I gave her credit for. Is what I learned, and I already gave her quite a bit of credit. But I also learned the shape that creativity takes place in. Again, it works well because Cora and I have different skill sets, but Cora is a lot more. You don't enjoy creative writing, do you? And that's because she doesn't know how to start. But once she gets started, she's away.
I'm good at it. I just don't like doing it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
We're doing about a book, and we're supposed to be when we're writing that story, and I can sort of do it when I'm basing it off of. There's a lot of things that I've added and changed, but it's a lot easier when you've got like even a tiny base, like just some random words. You can then something just pops into your head. And then you can start writing.
Yeah, well, that's all right.
But I started from pretty much nothing except from Skylark Crossbow.
Yeah, and with your drawing, you were really reluctant to start it, and then when we went through and looked at some pictures that other people had done, you suddenly were away, and it's helped me find a good way of encouraging Cora to learn, because I know that fear of doing something wrong is strong with her at the beginning, but then as soon as you get over that hump, then she flies. You spent an entire day doing drawing.
That's a fear that all of us have. Like as an adult, you know, you could argue that it's even more like a fear of embarrassing yourself and kind of doing something that, oh, this isn't my best work, I don't want to show it. Because especially in this day and age, Dan, you talked about social media, we're always having to present the best version of ourselves. And sometimes if you actually say, you know what, I'm going to post a thing on Instagram literally every day, in a way, that's quite a nice exercise, because then it forces you to, if it's drawings that you're doing, it forces you to just post some stuff that's maybe not as good.
Yes,
and it just gets it out in the world.
And that's what your mum does, doesn't she?
Mum posts pictures of usually flowers.
Flowers or the sky.
A couple of pictures every day, and she posts like different different pictures. That,
So sometimes you need to take a run up at it, and it doesn't matter what the quality of your run up is like. Basically, do something awful, as I once said on Twitter, and then Richard Simpson stole it. That's not true. Richard came up with that. It's right. No, Richard Simpson. He's a plagiarist. I'll say it here.
What? Okay. Please, no more questions from anyone. Just going to do the recap. But before we do, Ian has a question from Cora. Do you feel like you had to make the game easier to understand for the sake of your design partner?
How rude. What? How rude. Look at him in his running top.
Okay, final question. Was there an idea that you came up with, Cora, that you couldn't fit in? It was too grand or too imaginative?
Probably not. I think most of a lot of the things that we did, that we managed to maybe like scale it down a little bit and then put in. Can you think of anything that?
Not really. No, it's a good question, and you'd think that would be the case, but I can't actually think of anything Cora suggested.
And it's actually quite nice to be able to just do what you want in it and not have any limitations, and just be able to put in what you want.
Yeah, I can't. We things have changed and moved on very, very much since the first copy, but that's how it works anyway, isn't it? That's how game design. It's
not through you kind of realizing, hey, this isn't as good as this other thing. I'm going to make this tweak, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
it's still there though. That's one of my ideas, that we haven't taken it out and not been in the game. It's still, maybe even if it's only a little bit of it, it's still in the game.
Yeah,
and like the idea that you can just do what you want and there's no limitations.
It's a lot of the stuff from because initially it started off as I say, homeschool, so just stuff we had with us, so anything we could print out and the models we had. So it never got too grandiose, like it needs to be over 7 different levels, because you were always very aware of the physical constraints that we came under. Then we boiled it down and boiled it down and boiled it down to where it is now, which it may well get boiled down further. You know, we're still working on it. But yeah, look, we got some. Sorry, I should show. Seeing as though I should show some pictures of some of the drawings Cora did for it. So that's Wizard Woman. There you go. There's a goblin.
We've got the standees, but we've also got the little. You have to.
There you go. So I don't. Sorry, I just suddenly saw that. So no, I don't think so. I think you'd have thought there would be, but there hasn't been. Sorry.
I'm not sure if there's anything that you want to put in that hasn't been put in. Doesn't matter.
No, I don't. I think it's been a negotiation. As I say, things have gone smaller, and we've simplified things, but that hasn't been. You like the orc, yeah.
And a quick hello to Simon Pizza, who just joined us, and Super McDad, who you did miss the fun. It was a great episode. You know, it'll be on YouTube. You can, or on Twitter for 2 weeks, or Twitch for 2 weeks. That's the one, Twitch. You know, they both start with TWIT.
Yes.
And 1, 2, 3, 4. So Twitch, like 2/3 of it is the same as Twitter.
Same thing.
And Simon Pizza says, your drawing is amazing, Cora. You are very talented.
I like Simon's dragon there.
Yes.
This is my favourite one. I'll only do one more. This is my favourite one of Cora. Cora's. I love that gremlin. Look at that. He's ace. Anyway, right.
I'm not sure that's how you hold a bow, but...
Well, it'll be all right. Doesn't have to be realistic.
And Edard Swin wants to express some admiration for you, Dan. Well, I agree. It does seem like you have a lovely relationship. And I want to say thank you to both of you. You've been amazing. We talked about so much today. We talked about Huddersfield, but we decided that family is more brilliant than Huddersfield.
Only just. Only
We
just.
decided that family doesn't have to be about blood. It's just about who you choose to spend a long time with.
Yeah.
And that, family forge these bonds, you get to know these people. There's a lot of love, there's a lot of trust. We talked about cornflakes and peanut butter, not necessarily together, but both for
That does sound
breakfast.
nice, though. That's what you're having for lunch.
Oh man, maybe. Oh,
It would be
that's
nice.
me.
Yeah. It'd be nice.
I think it could work.
Get the cornflake and then put a little peanut butter on it.
No, you put the peanut butter and then you mix the cornflakes up so it'll be crunchy when you eat it. It'll be like extra crunchy peanut butter, and put it on a rice cake or something. Yeah, it would. It'd be nice.
Oh, out of the recap, Simon says that their son drew the dragon.
That's pretty awesome for a 10-year-old. That.
Yeah.
Why aren't you good at that? As good at that drawing? You rubbish.
2 years to go. 2 years for Cora to get that good.
Yeah.
We talked about like the different roles that you had, like the roles that you fit into and the roles that we all fit into. We talked about kind of investments of yourself into particular things. We talked about building confidence. We talked about the utility of all these things. We talked about the ego, about barning. What's barning? I don't know my own notes.
Barney.
Barning?
You got us mixed up with somebody else. The eagle as well. I never talked about the eagle. Did we?
No, the ego.
Oh, the ego. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about comic.
No, the ego, like how there's so much ego invested in these things that we like, and kind of wanting to push things onto other people, like Amy. We talked about that because like that stems from, possibly you could argue. I don't know if you would agree. You've got more training in this. Maybe that stems from your own ego, like wanting to turn your children into little versions of yourself.
I don't think my training. Yeah, well, I don't think my training would have covered that much. But yes, I agree. I think it's a very common thing and very difficult for. I think all parents struggle with that really, and some people fail. And
I think that overall we just had lots of fun. It has been such a delight. I think that even though my voice is going, it's not to do with you. It's just like I've got a bit of a cold or something. Hopefully it's nothing too serious.
Hopefully not.
If you want to find me, I am stuffforbiz.com, stuffforbiz.bigcartel.com to buy stuff, twitter.com/stuffforbiz. I share lots of stuff. Instagram.com/stuffforbiz. I try to share pictures most days, just pretty things out in the world, flowers or drawings or games. Twitch.tv/stuffbiz. I stream every day at 10 a.m. YouTube.com/c/stuffbiz. That's a new one for me. I managed to get to 100 people, and so now I have my own name there. And if you want to join the Discord, I wasn't fast enough to say, but it's going to come up again. It's stuffforbiz.com/Discord, and it will take you to a channel where, if you want, you can chat about today's show. You can, be friendly and make friends and, be lovely, because as Dan says, even online, it is still a community. I want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone who's been in chat, who's been watching. It's been lovely to have you all. As always, whether you're a regular or whether it's your first time or whether I know you and you've just kind of popped in for the first time for a while, and you're all welcome. And so thank you so much for watching, and most importantly, biggest thanks to
spin around this way.
biggest thanks to Dan and Cora Hughes, especially Dan Hughes, who's the best. In fact, that's a much better view. That's what everyone wants to see. Cora, turn Dan around. Cora, turn Dan around. She stole my seat, though, Bez. That's the point. If she hadn't stolen my seat...
do you want the seat, then?
No, I'm fine. We're finishing now.
No.
Thank you very much, Bez. Yeah, Dan, turn around. Dan, turn around.
Turn around.
You've been mean to me.
Turn
around. Before we finish up, I want to say over to you. What are you up to? You can share only if you want to. So is there anything that you want to share? Is there anything that you're looking forward to, or any hopes or ambitions, or something you're looking forward to this weekend, whether it's exciting, trivial, maybe it's important, maybe it's just fun? What are you excited about?
I'm go.
Sorry. No, you go.
I'm going for a walk with some of my friends I haven't seen for 9 months, which will be nice.
Wow.
So I'm looking forward to that. some of my board gaming friends, we decided that we're not going to do board games. We're not going to get to do any board games for a long time yet, probably still. I think she's misspelled best there.
Yeah.
And I think she mentioned worst, WORST.
No, it's correct.
And Cora, what are you looking forward to?
My homework is to show you doing reading in different locations. But I went for the different unusual locations. So today or maybe tomorrow, I might go climb a tree and then
have a picture of you in a tree
I'm
reading a book.
Read a book in a tree.
So we're going to go around taking photos of you reading in unusual locations. So that's what Cora's looking for.
I'm doing one a day, so we'll end up with 9.
Yeah, because it's half term. It's half term at the moment, so Cora's not at school. So that's something else to look forward to.
We didn't have to go to school on Friday either because it was staff training day.
Yeah. And so we're also looking forward to the Coraquest Kickstarter coming in February, which is exciting. So if anyone wants to look at that, then go to Coraquest.com. Did you really meet Bez up a tree? Is that right?
This is true.
What were you doing up a tree, Bez?
Well, we were both up the tree. So, basically...
Finding
it was after look, we were out dancing. We hadn't really met each other. We might have, I don't know. I can't remember seeing Jess in this pub, but we went out, and then, there was this group of people saying, "Hey, we're going to go off through the park, and there's a really nice tree that you can climb up." True story. And so a bunch of us went, and then we climbed up this tree. It was like a giant group of people. I don't know, like maybe 12 people. And then there were literally about 9 people up in this tree. And then I ended up sitting next to Jess and chatting on this tree. True story.
Sounds very bohemian to me. I don't know where I hold with that kind of behaviour, sitting in trees.
You might find a new friend up a tree.
Well, maybe we could go out and find some friends up trees. Maybe that's the way to do it.
I mean, in this day and age, you need to be careful with that.
That's right. Depends on the tree and the location, I suppose. Yes. So you can find out more about Coraquest on Coraquest.com, and you can also download it.
No, you mean Coraquest.
Oh, Coraquest. Yeah, sorry, I meant to be. That's the way we say it. Coraquest.com. And you can download it all. It's all print and play. It's all free. It'll always be free. It's all Creative Commons stuff. And I do a podcast called Sporadically Bored, which is a bit like this, apart from no rude interruptions from Cora. Instead, I have Mike
Only
Delicia.
sometimes.
Only sometimes. So that's it. That's where we are.
And Simon says that they're reading The Invention of Hugo Cabaret by Brian Selznick, which has amazing hand-drawn pictures, and Simon recommends it to you, Cora. I don't know if you want to take away notes of that.
Yeah, I'm going to take a photo of the screen. Oh, that'd be... Because we don't do writing in our house, do we?
Really?
Only take photos. No, we do. It's just quicker for me to take a photo than it is to... I'll come back and say... Yes, there's lots of writing there.
And Jess says that are looking forward to getting paid, maybe on Tuesday. I am...
Maybe doesn't sound much fun.
Oh, Simon says that the book they recommended is set in the train station, so you could read in a train station potentially.
Yeah. Huddersfield's got a famous train station because it's got a cat in it called Felix the Cat, and it's got a book written about it and everything. This cat in the train station. There you go. I
am starting to tidy my room. I am hoping to have a tidy room in the not too distant future, hopefully in 2020. We will see what happens. This will be the highlights of 2020 if I manage to tidy my room. Because to be fair, there's not much.
One major thing that happened in 2020, Bez cleaned his room.
Her. But aircon was all right as well, I guess.
Yeah, at least we got the last con of the year in, didn't we?
Yeah. Anyway, for the next streams, if you want to check that out, stuffwithbez.com/streams. Tomorrow I am chatting to, oh my gosh, Alex Vanny Davis. Completely different, a bit less family friendly potentially. It might involve taking off clothes, because we're comparing board games to burlesque.
Oh, yeah. Different side of the coin there.
Yes. And then Monday we'll be making a series with Shem Phillips because obviously they're known for the north, west, south, east. Half of them haven't come out yet, but we'll be talking about them all.
Raiders all over the place. I'm gonna be interested to know what burlesque and board games have got in common. I might tune in for that one.
Well, that will probably be a bit of a sillier show as well. I'm not going to lie. We might just the silliest show of all will be on Tuesday when Jess comes in here, and I have no idea what we're going to talk about, but it will be insanity, I'm sure.
Very good.
Just embrace the chaos. Thank you for everyone. Share, spread the word. I'm going to very quickly look to see if there's any good musicians playing right now on Twitch that I can recommend. Because this is a new thing. Have you heard about all these? Surprise Terror Games is playing right now. Well, I wonder if let's raid Surprise Terror Games. If we do it quickly, #raid Surprised Terror Games. I'm sorry, Quality Beast, but you might be in German. Why cannot I cannot raid this channel? Oh, they've changed it so we can't raid them. Okay. Apparently they don't want to be raided. Let's go and see say hello to Xate then in Quality Beast Games, even though it might be German. So we're raiding them instead.
It means when this ends, all the audience will get put into somebody else's thing so they can watch that.
Yeah, it's kind of like a way of recommending something and say, hey. And when you go on, like, say, hi, Xate. Xate is spelled Xate. Just go in and say, hi, Xate. Just so there will be, like, hopefully, like, 10, 20 people saying, hi, Xate, and it will be quite funny. So please do that. Anyway, so thank you so much, everyone. People are saying thank you. Thank you, Cora and Dan, because, yeah, they are the important people who joined in. Just wants chocolates. Fair enough. For now, there's only one thing left to do, unless you have anything more to say.
No, you're not going to sing again, are you?
Bye, 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 bye.
Yeah,
This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, bye. Bye bye, and now it's time to go. Bye bye, bye bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye bye, bye bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye bye, bye bye. This is the end of the show.
I thought she finished.
Bye bye, bye bye. And now it's time to go.